You think you lose control because the pressure is too intense, because the criticism was unfair, because the conflict was unexpected, because the situation was overwhelming. That is not the real reason. Watch what actually happens. Someone challenges you. Your heart rate spikes, your breathing shortens, your jaw tightens, your voice sharpens before you even choose your words. You call it stress. But what just happened was not a decision, it was a takeover. Your nervous system acted before your mind could command it, and in that moment, you did not lose the argument. You lost authority over yourself. Pressure did not defeat you, untrained physiology did. And that is where most people misunderstand control. The mind is not just thoughts. It is a command structure built on biology. And biology does not negotiate. When tension appears, your nervous system scans for danger. If it detects threat, social rejection, status loss, uncertainty, it activates survival mode. Survival mode has one priority: protection, not clarity, not strategy, not composure. This is why under pressure you defend too quickly, speak too loudly, freeze when you should act, over-explain when silence would give you leverage. You think you are standing your ground, but your breathing is unstable. Your tone is reactive, your posture is forward and tense, your body is fighting, and when your body is fighting, your judgment narrows. Thinking collapses when breathing collapses. Authority disappears when physiology accelerates. Resilience is not belief, it is conditioning, and most people are poorly conditioned, which is why the story about mental toughness misleads them. You were told resilience is mental toughness. Stay strong, think positive, don't let it get to you. But when stress hits, your nervous system does not ask what you believe. It activates based on what you have practiced. If you have practiced comfort, you panic under friction. If you have practiced avoidance, you retreat under tension. If you have practiced emotional reaction, you escalate instantly. You cannot lecture your biology into obedience. Yet that is what most people attempt. They consume motivation, they repeat affirmations, they promise composure, then the next confrontation arrives, and they snap again. Each time you react impulsively under pressure, you reinforce the loop. Stimulus, stress spike, reaction, temporary relief. That relief feels satisfying, but it lowers your tolerance threshold. And slowly, almost invisibly, your nervous system becomes more sensitive, more reactive, more fragile. You think you are passionate. In reality, you are unconditioned, and over time, that conditioning becomes identity. This is where the damage deepens. Because repeated reactivity does not remain situational, it becomes structural. You begin to identify as hot-tempered, or easily stressed, or not good under pressure. But those are not personality traits. They are training outcomes. Watch two people in the same confrontation. One breathes slower as tension rises. The other speeds up. One listens before speaking. The other interrupts. One remains still. The other fidgets, leans forward, tightens. Pressure reveals conditioning instantly, and conditioning determines hierarchy. Because stability under activation signals power. Instability under activation signals vulnerability. Humans test for this constantly. They challenge, they delay, they provoke. Not always consciously, but they observe your reaction carefully. If your frame fractures, leverage shifts. If your breathing destabilizes, authority weakens. If your voice sharpens, you lose ground. This is why the Stoics did not train comfort, they trained exposure. Because a nervous system that cannot tolerate activation cannot maintain command. Now philosophy becomes necessary, not inspirational, necessary, and this is where Stoic structure becomes practical. Epictetus said, "Events do not disturb us, our judgments do." But judgment collapses when physiology is hijacked. Marcus Aurelius wrote from war, plague, betrayal, and political attack, not from comfort. He understood something simple. You do not rise to ideals, you fall to your training. If you want resilience under attack, you must train the stress response itself. From this emerge three structural disciplines. First, breath governs state. When breath accelerates, perception narrows. When breath lengthens, perception stabilizes. Control breath, and you interrupt escalation. Second, exposure reduces sensitivity. What you repeatedly face without panic loses its destabilizing power. Avoid discomfort, and discomfort gains authority. Third, interpretation determines intensity. Label something as attack, and adrenaline rises. Label it as cognitive demand, and stress reduces. Resilience is engineered, not wished into existence. Here is the principle most people avoid. You must deliberately practice remaining still when your body demands reaction, not occasionally, repeatedly. When criticism lands, slow your exhale. When tension rises, reduce movement. When someone challenges you, delay your response by one breath. This is not weakness, it is nervous system retraining. Each time you override the impulse to react immediately, you strengthen command circuitry. Each time you remain composed during activation, you lower future reactivity thresholds. Most people try once, then retreat. They expose themselves to stress one time, feel uncomfortable, and return to avoidance. But conditioning requires repetition. Physiology adapts only to what is repeatedly tolerated. Train calm under activation, and activation loses authority over you. Psychological resilience is not loud strength, it is trained stillness. When pressure rises, the nervous system you tolerate becomes the reactions you repeat. The reactions you repeat become your identity. If your body decides before your judgment speaks, you are not in command, you are automated, and automation under stress is vulnerability. But when breath remains steady under attack, when posture stays grounded under criticism, when voice stays measured under tension, something changes. Leverage shifts, authority stabilizes, hierarchy reorders silently. Because the world does not measure strength by words, it measures it by composure under activation. If pressure can move you, it can control you. If pressure cannot move you, it cannot own you. Resilience is not belief, it is biological discipline, and discipline, once trained, does not collapse. If you're committed to emotional control and psychological command, subscribe and stand with this community. Like the video to support content that builds mental armor, and comment "Titan in training" if you're serious about growth. Let's build pressure that forges strength. Strength grows in silence, but titans train together.